The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, with us today is Frank Tarentino from the Drug Enforcement Administration, and he's the Associate Chief of Operations for the Northeast region. And the White House has given new tools that can be used to make Americans safer. Well, Frank Tarentino, what do you say? What's going on?
Well, good morning, John, and thanks for making time for us. This is most importantly about putting America and Americans first. It's about safeguarding our nation. It's about protecting the homeland. So as you know, we're in the midst of one of the greatest drug threats and opioid crisis that we've ever faced in drug law enforcement. And it's perpetuated by the Mexican drug cartels, Chinese criminal groups, but also other criminal organizations that span the Western Hemisphere, in particular Colombia drug organizations or criminal organizations. And so under this administration, they provided us with new tools and resources and capabilities to fight these threats and to, number one, keep Americans safe and to safeguard our homeland. So when we think about this drug threat, we have to understand that the Colombian drug trafficking organizations influence about 96% of the cocaine that comes into the United States of America. Back in 2021, the Colombian National Police and the Colombian military arrested a high-level drug trafficker and cartel leader by the name of Dario Antonio Usuga David, otherwise known as Otoniel. He was the leader of the Clan de Golfo gang, and he wielded strong influence and power throughout the Colombia region, more specifically in the northwest part of Colombia. And he had about 6,000 paramilitary members that would use violence, intimidation, and military tactics to essentially move their cocaine through the borders of Colombia and Panama and then into Mexico and eventually into the United States. And so when he was arrested, he was eventually extradited in 2022 to New York, where he eventually pled guilty in January of 23, and then he was sentenced later in August of 2023 to 45 years in prison and a fine $216 million. So a great success for DEA, for our federal partners. But more importantly, around that same time, this other individual by the name of Jobanas de Jesus Avila Villadiego, or Chiquito Malo, he rose to the leadership role of the Clan de Golfo. And again, around that same time, President Trump, with his leadership, guidance, and direction, the United States Secretary of State designated the Clan de Golfo gang in December of 2025 as a foreign terrorist organization. And that is in part Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. That is what allows us to go after the Clan de Golfo and its associates as a foreign terrorist organization. And so that designation, along with what we call the specially designated global terrorist, again, under the executive order of the president, which is a powerful tool, is why we indicted Chiquito Malo last week in April of 2026. And so what this demonstrates is that these high-level leaders in Colombia, Mexico, or anywhere else in the world that hide behind their armies, that hide behind their, cartels, that hide behind the millions and millions of dollars that they make off of the victims of the United States cannot escape justice. And so this indictment represents a new charge, the Title 21 USC 960A narco-terrorist charge, and also the Title 18 USC 2339B charge, which is the material support to a foreign terrorist organization.
Now,
so again, the Trump... Yep.
You guys have made significant progress in going against these cartels. What mistakes did the cartels make, or what were you allowed by the White House to do your job better?
Well, again, John, the White House, the president, his leadership, the United States Secretary of State designating the 6 cartels in Mexico as foreign terrorist organizations, the 2 most dominant, the Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels, again, is a very powerful tool that we can utilize as a whole-of-government approach with our Department of War and intelligence counterparts to go after these cartels in a way we've never been able to go after them before. And I think this is also a great example of the Homeland Security Task Forces is coming together as a whole-of-government commitment to hold these cartels accountable. And so we've done incredible work in a very short period of time, seizing a lot of their illicit poison that's coming into the United States, but also we've seized a lot of their ill-gotten gains, their money that is flowing back into Mexico and also into China, which again recycles the precursor chemicals that go into Mexico.
Have you seen significant drop of sales to children and to people in our states after all these cartels were, say, busted?
Well, John, yes, we have seen a decline in the availability of fentanyl on our city streets. We have seen a decline in the purity of fentanyl on our city streets, and that has had an immeasurable effect on the safety and security of this country. We've seen a 25% drop in overdose deaths and poisonings. We've seen the lethality in the pills drop to 29% out of every 10 pills that we test in our laboratory. So we're seeing progress, and this is a direct result of the administration giving us the tools, the resources, and empowering us to go out and do our job. And it's also a great credit to our Administrator Cole, and he has really focused the entire agency, the global agency, on enforcement and, again, on protecting Americans.
By doing all of this, and by doing what we did with Venezuela, with the cartels there, in the boats that were coming in from Venezuela, and what we did with Mexico, how many lives do you estimate we've saved, or we're going to save a year now?
Well, John, we're saving tens of thousands of lives, maybe hundreds of thousands of lives. When you look at, we went from, at the peak, 112,323 Americans who died in a 12-month period ending in August of 2023 to 84,000. And it's dropping even lower than that. We're down in the 60,000 range now. So we've nearly halved the number of overdose deaths and poisonings, but also by removing the source of supplies, by removing the facilitators, the brokers, the money launderers, and then removing the actual poison from our streets, we're saving lives. It's countless lives.
Well, that is wonderful news, and I want to thank you for the jobs you're doing and for the entire Drug Enforcement Administration and the president that has empowered you to do these things. And how could I say, thank you from all Americans.
Well, thank you, John. The support that we're getting from the White House, from our administrator, and from the public has been tremendous, and that is what gives us the energy and the encouragement to go out and to continue to do this difficult work. But it's, again, to save American lives and to keep America safe.
Well, thank you so much for saving all those lives, and we'll catch up again real soon.
Thank you, John.